South Africa has shocked the world once again by announcing one of the most ambitious and breathtaking aviation projects on the African continent, a $390 million ultra-modern international airport in the Cape Winelands, a project so bold, so unexpected, and so transformative that it is already being described as the Western Cape's next great leap into the future. At a time when global air travel is surging and Cape Town International Airport struggles with increasing demand, this new airport arrives not merely as an expansion, but as a statement, an audacious reminder that South Africa still knows how to dream big and execute even bigger. But what does it really mean for a country to build a world-class airport right in the middle of its iconic wine region? And how often does a project come along that forces observers, from aviation analysts to investors, to rethink what is possible on the continent?
So the vision, like everything in life, visions change. They are fluid things. What you start out is not what you end. We bought this airport in 2020. It was an old military airport, four, sort of rundown runways, all in different directions. And we started unpacking the opportunity. We realized that we needed longer runways to land bigger planes. We started going from a GA airport into a domestic airline airport. We needed a 2,200 meter runway, so we bought further land. And then we came across this, very unique option where if we are a closer destination alternate and we can service bigger airplanes, we save the airline industry in the region of about R1 billion a year. And that required us to build a longer runway.
To understand the magnitude of what is unfolding, we have to look back at the fascinating history behind this airport. The Cape Winelands Airport project traces its origins to the old Fezantekraal airfield, a 150-hectare site built in 1943 as a World War II base for the South African Air Force. For decades, the airfield served quietly as a general aviation facility, a place for flight training, recreational flying, and the occasional light aircraft. But as Cape Town International Airport began exceeding 10 million passengers annually and pressure mounted on the region's aviation ecosystem, the old airfield found itself in the middle of an unexpected transformation. The private company RSA Aero, led by Managing Director Dame Claude, recognized that something had to be done. The Winelands had grown into a high-demand tourism hotspot. Cape Town's airport was bursting at the seams, and South Africa needed a fresh solution. Through years of environmental assessments, feasibility studies, and stakeholder engagements, the vision matured, eventually receiving environmental authorization from the Western Cape government in late 2025. What started as a dormant World War II relic slowly evolved into one of Africa's most anticipated aviation projects. A privately driven mega-development designed to bypass slow government bottlenecks and answer a modern economic question: how do you build new aviation capacity fast enough to support a booming tourism and logistics sector?
Growth Point are not only the biggest property owner, property REIT in the country, but with decades of experience, but also, resonated with us, personally, their management, their style, the way they do business. We thought that they were absolutely the right partner for us, and we're grateful when we concluded that partnership agreement.
Technically, the Cape Winelands Airport is a masterpiece in the making. Located 12 kilometers northeast of Durbanville on a vast 150-hectare landscape, its scale becomes clearer when compared to a familiar icon: Manchester United's Old Trafford Stadium. The legendary stadium sits on about 18 hectares, meaning the Cape Winelands Airport will occupy an area large enough to fit Old Trafford more than 8 times over, an extraordinary indicator of the ambition behind the project. The airport will feature a fully realigned and extended runway stretched to roughly 2 miles, enabling it to accommodate modern wide-body aircraft for both domestic and international routes. Its passenger terminal is being built as a boutique, world-class facility equipped with automated check-in systems, biometric security, advanced baggage handling technology, and the seamless passenger flows seen in the world's most advanced airports. But the amenities do not end there. Included in the project are a cargo processing center, aviation hangars, a modernized general aviation precinct, dedicated hotel accommodation, conference facilities, a heliport, and retail spaces, showcasing the best products from the Winelands. With an initial operational capacity projected at 2 million passengers annually in 2028 and an expansion path leading to 5 million passengers by 2050, the airport promises to fuse luxury, efficiency, and sustainability in a way that raises the bar for mid-sized aviation hubs in Africa. If other airports pride themselves on scale, Cape Winelands seeks its pride in elegance, precision, and scenic brilliance. No mega project of this magnitude succeeds without world-class builders, and South Africa has chosen none other than Wilson Bailey Homes Ofcon, or WBHO, as the contracting partner. WBHO stands tall as one of the largest construction companies in Southern Africa, a giant founded in 1970 and responsible for some of the most iconic structures on South African soil. Their portfolio reads like a catalog of modern engineering triumphs. Discovery's shimmering Sandton headquarters, the futuristic PwC Tower in Midrand, the monumental Mall of Africa, the striking Greenpoint Stadium, and even King Shaka International Airport, one of South Africa's largest aviation investments. With such a pedigree, one can't help but wonder if this is the company trusted with some of the country's biggest architectural statements. What marvel will they deliver in the serene landscape of the Winelands? WBHO's involvement signals seriousness, stability, and world-class engineering capability, key ingredients for a project aiming to redefine aviation in the Western Cape. The entire development is estimated at $390 million, funded through private capital, strategic partnerships, and key investors such as Grove Point Properties, who have already taken interest in the surrounding commercial precinct. Construction is expected to begin in early 2026, with the airport's first phase scheduled for opening in 2028. According to Claude, the project now enters a crucial stage of technical design and engineering refinement, giving developers a clearer understanding of costs, timelines, and construction logistics. To put the Cape Winelands Airport into continental context is to appreciate both its ambitions and its strategic realism. Africa's busiest airports, Cairo International with nearly 29 million passengers and OR Tambo with over 18 million, dwarf the Winelands' projected traffic. Addis Ababa's Bole International, Nairobi's Jomo Kenyatta, and Casablanca's Mohammed V Airport continue to dominate continental travel routes. But does this diminish the significance of Cape Winelands? Far from it. Instead, it highlights the niche brilliance of the project. Unlike the mega hubs designed for global intercontinental dominance, Cape Winelands is a focused, high-efficiency, tourism-driven, next-generation airport positioned to complement, rather than compete with, Cape Town International. It seeks to offer a premium experience, reduce congestion, and create an alternative entry point perfectly aligned with the Western Cape's tourism, wine, and agribusiness ecosystem. In fact, one could argue that its targeted design gives it an advantage. It can be more modern than older hub airports, more agile than government-run facilities, and more responsive to premium travelers seeking direct access to the vineyards, luxury estates, and adventure experiences of the region. In a world increasingly shifting toward boutique, specialized airports, could the Cape Winelands Airport become a model for similar developments across Africa? The economic impact is expected to be enormous. Over its first 20 years, the airport is projected to support more than 100,000 direct and indirect jobs, a staggering contribution to a region hungry for sustainable employment. Tourism will receive a major boost as travelers gain direct access to the Winelands, without passing through crowded hubs. The upgraded cargo facilities will accelerate the export of high-value agricultural products, including wine, fruit, and floriculture, tapping into global demand with greater speed and efficiency. New hotels, logistics parks, retail outlets, industrial zones, and hospitality developments will rise around the airport, generating billions in long-term economic activity. As global investors look for stable, high-growth destinations in Africa, will the Cape Winelands become one of the continent's most attractive aviation-driven development corridors? And how many other African countries might study this model of privately led, strategically located airports that boost regional economies without over-reliance on state budgets? In the end, South Africa deserves praise for embarking on such a visionary mega project. The Cape Winelands Airport represents more than steel, concrete, and runway asphalt. It symbolizes ambition, innovation, and confidence at a time when Africa desperately needs bold infrastructure leadership. It reminds the continent that modernization is not a distant dream, but a decision, a choice to invest, to innovate, and to believe in the future. As South Africa moves forward with this extraordinary project, one can only hope that other African nations draw inspiration and follow suit. Because if the continent is to rise, and rise boldly, it will be because countries dare to build the kind of world-class infrastructure that turns possibility into prosperity. Your perspective matters. What do you make of South Africa's new $390 million Cape Winelands Airport? Would you want your country to do the same? Share your thoughts and insights in the comments section below. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the New Africa Wealth and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our informative future videos. Stay informed, stay engaged, and thank you for watching.